Hello, everyone, and welcome to a three-part series on computer hardware. So let's get to the objectives, eh? We're going to characterize the various types of computer hardware, demonstrate familiarity with the input and output devices, maintain hardware components. So in this depiction, they want to show you the life cycle of how a computer actually is getting the task done. CPU, which is a complex integrated circuit consisting of millions of electronic parts, is primarily responsible for the converting into data into meaningful output information. When you type something into your computer, you are never to talk directly to the CPU. You have to go through a series of buses, and there's an actual machine language that's actually being utilized that talks to the CPU. Data travels in and out of the CPU through a bus. Machine cycle. The four steps of machine cycle include fetching, decoding, executing, and storing. The fetching and decoding instructions are performed by the control unit, while the executing and storing instructions are performed by the ALU. Define each component of the computer hardware. All right, so you have computer memory. This is responsible for holding data and programs as they are being processed by the CPU. Random access memory, or RAM, is considered to be virtual memory, and it swaps files, usually called paging files. You'll find this in IBM-based machines. Now, random files, because they list them as virtual memory, it means that if it is also volatile memory, if you turn off the power, anything that's sitting in it is lost. Okay, just to let you know. So virtual and volatile memory is what RAM is. Read-only memory, or ROM. This is the stuff that you'll find in your BIOS, which you can change. It's a writable EEPROM. It allows you to write to the actual chip. Normally, your BIOS is located there. We'll talk more about BIOS at a later date. Power on self-test. You have a post-test, and I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but when you first turn on your PC, it has a bunch of beeps and just little sounds that it makes. That is your post test. And then there's the firmware. Firmware is located in the ROM also, but that you can't write to. Input and output devices. Input devices communicate instructions and commands to the computer. Example are keyboards and mouse. Output devices convey information from the computer to the user. Examples of that are speakers and printers. So let's identify a few things, eh? Storage devices designed to store data for extended periods of time. The type and amount of data helps to determine the most appropriate storage device. So the first one that they're showing you is a hard drive. And that one is an old time hard drive. Actually, it looks like it's new, but nevertheless, it's a hard drive. And then there's always the extended external hard drive, which right now I think I'm up to like 4 external hard drives, but I have a lot of information that I pass. And of course, memory cards. Memory cards are great for things like your camera. If you have a digital camera, it'll have a memory card in it. You can transfer that, whatever photos it is that you have, to your desktop or laptop if it has a slot for it. And then there's always the flash drive. It's probably the more, or thumb drive. You'll see a lot of people call it that. So, need to explain how computers represent data. It's represented in bits. All right. As a bit, it's a 0 or 1, a 0 or 1. And that 0 or 1 is on or off. Your next stage up from a bit, that's the smallest piece, is a byte. These days, there's 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit byte, rather, I'm sorry, 32 byte and 64 bytes. And in some cases, 128 bytes. Uh, what it means is you're going to have for each position, you're going to have 24 or 64, I'm sorry, 64 uh, bytes or bits that are located in that address. It means that you can put more information into the one command. Now, the text code that they use, because they have to have some type of way of representing what it is that you've typed in. There's Unicode and then there's ASCII. ASCII being the older of the two. That was designed back in the day when DOS was king. And I don't know if any of you guys still remember DOS, but Microsoft bought them out a long time ago, and it is not the same as what it was before. But uh, ASCII and Unicode are still around. If you look in the back of your book, you may find a table that lists all the numeric references to the ASCII code or to the Unicode. All right, so when it comes to hard drives, though, you have internal hard drives, and it has a magnetic hard disk drive that's in there. There are solid states now where it's just all chips. There's no moving parts. Extremely quiet, extremely fast. External hard drives, they can come in both states also. You can have it with a magnetic disk, or you can have it as a solid state drive. External, yeah. And then there's the USB flash drives, which we know is just electronic, and you're just filling a memory slot. And then there's optical media. Of course, they have optical drives, but they're extremely expensive. And of course, out there is cloud storage. Now, cloud storage is something that we all have to get involved with these days because a lot of things are sent up to the cloud. Storing electronic files on the internet instead of the local computer. Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, or Dropbox are examples of cloud storage locations. So, what's the difference? All right, so desktop computers typically consist of a system unit, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. More powerful, more storage is usually involved with a desktop. Hardware components can be easily upgraded. All-in-one computers, however, have a different set of issues. Monitor and system units are housed together, take up less space and easier to transport. Typically more difficult to service or to upgrade, and they're more expensive than regular desktops. If anything breaks on it, you might as well, you have the entire thing will have to go to the shop. So you can't substitute any pieces, parts for the items that are broken on it. Mobile devices such as portable handheld computer devices, you have a tablet, you have less, they have less power, and they're not upgradable. They're pretty much throwaways once they reach their last days. All right, that's going to end us for part one. I'm going to go ahead and start part two here shortly, and we'll see where we go from there. Thank you.